What's up, friends? This is the third time I've started the stream. Hopefully things are working this time. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Captain Wangle, Dangle, Fangle, McWangle, McDangle, McDangly, Wangly, Dangly, Dangly, Wangle, Wangle, Dangle, Dangle Man. In the chat, lots of people, I don't know if the chat's really working right. It's just, it's all chaos. Frank Nicholas, Remy Tim, CiottiFPV, Paul McDonald, B-Man, Ryan, Metal Dirtskin, Yarbs FPV, come on, computer, you got this, Scott FPV, June Loco, Chomper FPV, Adam Cable, Colby Callister, Remy Tim, Jorgermeister, Glitchy. CiottiFPV. Bot Grinders in the house. I'm sure I miss people. I still love every single one of you. Bad Habit RC, I saw you down the bottom. Tonight is Monday Q&A, so drop those questions in the chat. If you want to talk directly to me or ask me a question, you can do a super chat. You can head over to CiottiFPV.com and do a PayPal direct if you don't want YouTube to take 30%. Or you can type at CiottiFPV or just type CiottiFPV into the chat. And when you do that, it will highlight in orange for me. So if you want to talk directly to me, those are the three things that you can do. You got to spell my name right if you type it, CiottiFPV. It's right down there. Can't get it wrong. It's probably up there too in the URL bar. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to see me keep on doing this, it's pretty easy. You just go to CiottiFPV.com and just click all the goddamn buttons. Patreon helps me out the most. Lots of benefits over there. A whole shitload of technical articles on tuning, your filters, your PIDs, troubleshooting a bunch of stuff, motor heat, mid-throttle oscillations, all kinds of good stuff like that. Audio versions of all these live streams. I'm streaming for 10 to 14 hours a week. I know it's hard to watch my big, gangly, silly face and crazy arms for that much time, so you can just listen to me as a podcast and suck up all that juicy knowledge over on the Patreon channel for $3 whole a month. That's 10 cents a day. Do it. It helps me out. It's the closest thing that I've got to a paycheck. And yeah, it's what keeps me going. YouTube and Instagram links. Over on Etsy, I've got some really cool stickers and hardware. Fiverr, there's a bunch of fun stuff going on. T-shirts on Teespring. FPV Exchange is a beautiful website we're going to talk about in a second. If you're ever doing orders on any one of these websites and you happen to hit my affiliate link before your order, maybe you change your bookmark to my affiliate link so that you don't even have to think about it. I will get 1 to 6% of your order. It is the cheapest way for you to support me, but also the hardest, because you got to remember to do a thing when you're excited about ordering stuff. And I can't remember to use my own, so if you forget, it's okay. But if you remember, yeah. FPV Cycle, Amazon, for real, like Amazon. Like if you're buying, you know, a massive tub of lube. Get FPV, oh my god, FPV Crate, Banggood, Camera Butter, and AliExpress. There's the link to PayPal if you want to support me directly. Facebook link to see the CiottiFPV page. FPV Therapy is a wonderful Facebook group that I set up a little over a year ago. A bunch of us that struggle with mental illness are over there all the time sharing stories. It's not really a spot to drop flight edits. If you put a flight edit up there, I'll leave it for a little while, but then I'll get rid of it. It's more a spot to talk about mental illness and what the hell you're struggling with and how we can all help each other just get through the day. So come on over. If you know more than a few people in this world, you know somebody with mental illness. So even if you don't have it yourself, lucky you, come on over and learn something about it, because those people in your life that do have it will be very appreciative, and you'll understand them a lot better. You'll understand when they fall off the radar, why they fell off the radar. And hey, maybe you won't think it was your fault. Maybe you'll know that, like, hey, they're just having a little bit of an episode and it's not you. And then you'll not feel like a shithead. Isn't that nice? Learn a little something and feel like a shithead less often. How about that? Link to the Discord channel and some BattleBots info if you want to laugh. This is what the Fiverr page looks like. FinFPV is doing flight footage edit. He's editing flight footage. Remy Tim is doing FPV mentoring, and then I'm doing a bunch of cool stuff. I'm doing live flight instruction, flight coaching over the internet through Velocidrone and Liftoff, and then we do an audio phone call. I can watch your screen and then give you tips and tricks and drills that you can work on, helping you tune your rigs over here, again, through Skype and Zoom, and then build planning down here. If you're sick of blowing up parts, if you're sick of wasting $60, $70, $80 on ESCs that catch on fire, give me that $40 or $80, and I'll tell you which shit to buy so that you stop wasting your time and money on garbage parts. I've wasted thousands and thousands of dollars on garbage parts, so, you know, use me and put me away wet. What is happening tonight? This is what happens when I have to start the stream 3 times in a row. This is the Teespring store. Lots of cool stuff going on. CiottiFPV did this amazing graphic here. There's a 2-color version of this coming soon when I find some time. I am slammed. I've been slammed lately. T-shirt. poster, tote bag, which is really nice to have. Black tote bags are the shit. When your flight bag is completely filled up with stuff, you can throw your extra couple of rigs in this silly little tote bag that says "kill all carbon" on it. A phone case because I need a phone case, and then here's all the OG stuff. Clam Man on a mug, the NASA ripoff logo on a mug, the subtle logos if you're a purple fan, some hoodies, some long sleeves, all kinds of good stuff. Clam Man on shirts, my logo, the collective, nut grabber, all kinds of fun stuff going on. If you guys see a design or a color that doesn't link up, or like if you want Clam Man on a mug, or well, Clam Man is on a mug, but if you want like a nut grabber mug, just tell me. I can do that really easily. Teespring makes it easy for me to create new items, so let me know. That's the wrong button. This is FPV Exchange. If you're not using FPV Exchange yet, you're missing out. Get on over there, get signed up. Import all your purchases and start selling stuff. It's also the best spot now that everything is out of stock everywhere. FPV Exchange is the best spot to like type in the item that you're looking for, and it will show you every single website that sells that item. It'll also show you all the people who are selling that item used, and it's very easy for you to sell your stuff used on here as well. So not only can you figure out who the hell has any of the shit that we need in stock, you're gonna see who has it for the lowest price, and you're gonna maybe see some individuals selling it so you can really start saving some money. So head on over to FPV Exchange, or I will cut your head off with a box cutter. It'll take a long time. What's up, chat? How are you? We're gonna take, it's Monday Q&A, we're gonna take questions. Tag me in the chat, leave your question, and I will answer it. And we're gonna work on the cinematic glide build with this gorgeous gloss glide frame, which you'll notice I have put the dead cat arms on. I'm going to build this with the dead cat arms because it is the cinematic builds, and then I will not be tempted to smash it into shit really hard, because with the dead cat arms, the chin, the nose with the camera on it, is the first spot that hits when you smash into something. So it doesn't crash very well with the dead cat arms on it, because yeah, your camera goes face first into everything. So by leaving these dead cat arms on it and building it with the dead cat arms, yeah, I won't be tempted to smack the shit out of this one like I did the other one, which I'm pretty sure is why I lost the other one in the sea. It was a freestyle build that I had pounded on, and then I started flying at long distances and in really sketchy situations, and yeah, you can't do that with rigs that you've pounded on, because all the electronics, everything gets, you know, kind of sketchy a little bit when you're slamming these things into brick at 80 miles an hour. So this should be good. I do have a full set of regular arms for it. I'm also kind of doing this because I'm going to be putting a 20-degree Hero 8 mount on it, and with the 20-degree mount, with 20-degree GoPro mounts, the glides do have a little bit more prop in view than what I consider to be like acceptable or whatever, for, you know, footage that you're going to give to a potential client. So yeah, this will be kind of cool for that too. If I end up putting this thing back, if I put a 30-degree mount onto this thing, there's a chance that I'll also swap on the regular arms, because the True X arms are going to perform a lot better than the Dead Cat arms. More mechanical, a longer lever on the pitch axis. But yeah, it'll be fun to build it with the Dead Cat arms. I don't think you guys have ever seen me put the Dead Cat arms on one of these glides, so yeah, you'll get to see that. So yeah, we're gonna work on that. Let me get caught up on the chat a little bit here. B-Man says, "Yo, brother." Ryan says, "Running late." Oh, I was actually a minute ahead of time. The first time I started the stream tonight, it was 9:59, and I was very proud of myself. And yeah, we all saw how that went. So I'm never starting the stream a minute early again. I'm only ever gonna start it late or on time, because maybe then. Paul McDonald says, "Have you seen Windows 11 yet? Looks like Mac OS. Does it really?" June Logo says, "Yo, what's good, collective?" Adam Cable says, "Hello, everyone. What's up?" The answer is no, Paul. I haven't. Windows gives me like the fucking scratches. Like, shirt for the night. Joshua Bardwell's shirt from FPV Crate. Get yours over at FPV Crate. I think you can probably, maybe, I don't know. Chomper FPV says, everything's working on my side. Thank you, brother. I saw you say that, and that's what made me happy. Frank Nicholas says, I made you an offer to help with these technical difficulties. Very cool. I'm where, Frank? CMYK FPV says, what's up, man? If you guys need graphic design done, go to CMYK FPV. He's been doing all my logos and all kinds of fun stuff. He's a wonderful graphic designer. He's a busy guy, which is a good thing. That's how you know he's good. So yeah, if you need a logo or any designs done for your business, a friend's business, stuff like that, CMYK can definitely help you out. It's not going to be free, but you're going to get a really good graphic designer, and it's hard to find those. There's a lot of shitbags out there. So go with somebody you know, and then at least you can yell at me if it doesn't work out. Oh, come on, YouTube. Really? June Loco says, I thought you forgot about us today. Nope, never. Bad Habit RC says, what's up? Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Adam Cable says, thanks for the shout out, bro. You're certainly welcome. More people dropping the links. Thanks, guys. June Loco says, smash the thumbs up, fuckers. I agree. Subscribe, bell, all that good stuff. It all helps me out. Dan Richmond says, I watched some of the Getaway Driver on Discovery. Lots of FPV footage. The E-Rod. Also, Cricket. And I forget who the third pilot was. There was a third pilot that worked on there. And it's super cool. Did you hear about that show? Yeah, I did. I keep hoping that it'll come up on my torrent site because I don't have any subscription services that get that show. I've also been like slammed, so I really haven't been watching much, if any, TV. But yeah, I'm really looking. I really hope that Getaway Driver pops up on this torrent site, so I can download them and actually watch them, because the previews that I've seen have been awesome. Steady Eddie FPV, he says, thanks for the tip on using FPV crate boxes to organize. They look great inverted, and my bench is so much cleaner now. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, Steady Eddie, that was like a... you guys remember those commercials? Those Real Men of Genius commercials? Real Men of Genius. I'm the worst singer ever. I apologize for you guys having to suffer through that just now. But, yeah, that was a Real Man of Genius moment. And they're nice boxes, right? Like, they're really well made. That's why I've like, ever since the first one of those boxes, I was like, man, this is like a really nice box. I can't throw this away. So I started breaking them down so they'd be flat, and I was like putting them in the closet. And then the one day I realized that they fit really well in this IKEA Kallax-ish thing here. But then they were all black, and I was like, well, shit. And I was like putting masking tape on them and then writing on the masking tape. And then I remembered pizza boxes from when I used to deliver pizzas when I was in college. And I remember I used to fold pizza boxes up, and I'm like, I used to fold those inside out. So I ripped it apart, folded it inside out. I was like, hey, there we go. And I love that somebody else is doing that. That's super cool. Metal Dirtskin says, I have the nut grabber pin on my flight bag with a bunch of other even dirtier pins. Nice, Metal. And then we got Ricardo who says, yesterday's reminder, motor limit, throttle limit topic. Nice. Thank you, Ricardo. So yeah, let's just dive right into that. This is the discussion that I wanted to have. So, we've now got two ways. We've had this for a while. We've had throttle cut for a long time. Motor limiting has apparently been in the CLI, but nobody really knew about it, apparently. Now it's in the PID tab. So, let me plug a rig in, and we will... and I can give you guys, I'll show you where these are as a little bit more of a visual. So, is there not a quad around here somewhere? Hey, here we go, here's one. Here's one. Okay, so, we've got two ways that we can limit the throttle on our rigs. Throttle cut and motor limit. Throttle cut you can do in the rates tab, or you can even do it in your radio. Christ, you can even do it on a knob in your radio. Joshua has a video on how to do that. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about throttle cut versus motor output limiting. So down here is motor output limiting. All right, this is in the PID tab in 4.2 and beyond. I don't think this is in 4.1. So this is motor output limiting. The scale factor, well, there's the text. The scale factor is how much less it's going to send to the motors, basically. And then the cell count is a way for it to automatically select one or the other of these rate profiles. So you've got 3 different PID rate profiles. What you can do is set PID profile 1 to be on cell count 6 at a scale factor of like 60%. Save it. And then you can come in here and have PID profile 2 be set up for 4 cell with a scale factor of 90%, just as a random example. And then what's going to happen is when you plug a 4-cell battery, when you plug a 4S battery in, Betaflight is going to see the voltage, it's going to know it's a 4-cell, and it's going to automatically select PID profile 2, which is set to scale factor 90%, which is just what I typed in. And it's also going to bring any PIDs. If you want to have a different PID tune on each one of those, you can. I don't recommend it, but you can do that. And then if you unplug that and you plug in a 6S battery, it's going to see the voltage. It's going to automatically switch over to PID profile 1, which we've set up for scale factor of 60% with the cell count of 6. So that's just a little handy trick there. Let me turn that off. And we're going to talk more about the advantages of either one of these things. Nope, not 10. We don't want 10%. There we go. Okay. So that's motor output limiting. Motor output limiting scales your throttle and the PIDs. So if you want to put 2400 kV motors on a rig, like what I'm going to do with this cinematic build, but then run them on 6S, you need to use the motor output limiting. If you don't use the motor output limiting, the PID loop will have access to 6S 2400 kV. Throttle cut only cuts the throttle, thus the name throttle cut. Motor output limiting cuts the output that is being sent to the motors from the PID loop and from the throttle. So motor output limit is the easy button, and it should be used most of the time. There are very few situations where you don't want to use motor output limiting, but we're going to talk about the one potential situation where you might not want to use it. I'm still going to use it because it's the easy button, but I at least want to talk through this. So that's motor output limiting 99.9% of the time. That's what you want to use if you want a little bit less power. My favorite thing in the world to do is buy motors that are a little bit too high of a kV for the voltage that you want to run, and then you motor output limit them down a little bit, so that you have adjustability for the amount of horsepower that your rig has. So if you go out, so I live in Atlanta, which is at 1,000 feet above sea level. If I drive out to Colorado, which is 10,000 plus feet above sea level, the air is much thinner and the rig will have less power. I can go into motor output limiting and go from 90% up to 100% and get a bunch of the power back. And it's also going to add power to the PID loop, which is what I want. Throttle cut is not, in that same scenario, throttle cut is not going to add power to the PID loop, so the PID tune is going to be soft in that thinner air. So again, motor output limiting is the easy button. It's what you want to use 99% of the time. So now let's talk about throttle cut. And the reason that I'm thinking more about throttle cut versus motor output limiting is because now we've been talking about PID sum. The last couple of months, Mark Spatz, Chris Rosser have been adding PID sum into their tuning suggestions. What PID sum is it's buried in the CLI, and it basically controls how much power the PIDs are allowed to access. And by default, PID sum is not set at 100%. Mark and Chris, on most of their tunes, Mark Spatz is UAV Tech, Chris Rosser uses his own name. Both of those guys recommend on, I think, all of their tunes that I've seen, that you move PID sum to 100%. To give the PID loop more power, access to more power. It is dangerous to do that. And I've never had a rig that's needed that. But it's interesting. I'm just starting to test it. I'm not going up to 100% yet on PID sum. I'm creeping it up like 10% at a time. So really, really quickly, your PIDs are time-based. When you increase your P gain, it fights sooner. It doesn't fight harder, it fights sooner. So you crank up your P gains, the wind hits your rig, the P gain fights against that wind and pushes against that wind to keep the rig locked in. And the higher your P gain is, the earlier it starts to push against that wind. PID sum, as you increase that, it's going to push against the wind harder because you're literally giving the PID loop access to more power. This is similar to motor output limit versus throttle cut. So now we're going to talk about throttle cut. It's exactly what it sounds like. When you go full throttle, if you have the throttle cut at 90%, here's where the throttle cut is. It's in your rate profile. It's not throttle cut, it's throttle limit. It's defaulted at 100%. So when you go to 100% throttle, you get 100% power. If you set this throttle limit to 50% and you give your rig 100% throttle on the stick, it's only going to give you 50% into the motors themselves. So that's throttle limit. I mean, it's very, very straightforward. Where this conversation came up yesterday is we were talking about, and now that I really kind of talk through this, because of the fact that we're now using PID sum, we don't really need to use throttle limit in the rate profile. Can you guys understand at this point where like this situation, right? Like motor limiting is the easy button. We want to use that. If we didn't have PID sum, we would want to talk more about throttle limit. But I don't really think that we need to use throttle limit. But where this came up yesterday is I was talking about how I always like to run motors that are a little bit too high of a kV, and then I motor output limit them down a little bit. And what I'd said yesterday is, since I'm only bringing it usually down like to 90%, that I should probably start using a throttle limit instead. The motor output limiting is really important if you're running like way too high of a kV motor and you need to scale it down to like 60% or 70%. But if you're only scaling down to like 90 or 95%, you can get away with using a throttle limit. And then when you go to a big location or high in elevation or something like that where you want some more power, you turn up the throttle limit. But now that we're fucking around with PID sum, throttle limit is a little bit less useful because we can individually limit the amount of power that the PID loop has access to with PID sum rather than using the throttle limit. So I mean, it's really nice. Now we've got one thing that adjusts them both. We've got one thing that adjusts just the PIDs. We've got another thing that adjusts just the throttle. You guys get that? In the middle, which adjusts everything. What's going on, Betaflight? There we go. Right in the middle, that adjusts everything, is motor output limit. So motor output limit is going to adjust your throttle and the PIDs. PID sum is going to adjust only the PIDs. Throttle limit, throttle cut, is going to adjust only the throttle. Got me? And that's pretty cool. But admittedly, we don't really need all three. With just motor output limiting and just PID sum, we can do everything we need. We can move them both up and down, and then we can move just the PIDs up and down. So what, in my opinion, we should be doing is buying motors that are a little bit too high of a KV. At this point with 5-inch rigs, go 6S. There's no reason to stay 4S. If you're on 4S, that's fine. Start using motor output limiting and buying 6S batteries. Fly really hard. Fly your 4S batteries as hard as you possibly can. When you destroy them, replace them with 6S batteries. Every time you do an order, throw a 6S battery on it. Before you know it, you'll be all 6S. This is what I think that we should be doing. This is what makes the most sense to me. We buy motors that are a little bit too high of a KV. For 6S, 5-inch, 600 gram plus freestyle, that means like 1900 kV, 1800 kV, maybe even 2000 kV. Technically speaking, you can do 2400 kV. I've done it for a while at like 70% motor limit output. It works totally fine. But there is a little tiny bit of an efficiency increase by going to like a 1900 kV or an 1800 kV or a 2000 kV motor. I've never seen that efficiency difference in run times, and I've back-to-backed 2400 kV with a big motor output limit versus 1850 kV with a little tiny motor output limit. I've never seen a difference in runtime, but the keyboard scientists on the internet swear to God that there is one, and I don't doubt it. So yeah, best case scenario, don't run 2400 kV motors on 6S, but you absolutely can, and I've done it a lot. But yeah, when you go to buy motors that are a couple of hundred kV more than what you need, and then come on into Betaflight and motor output limit down to like 90%, let's say. Then go out and fly. And all you want to pay attention to is this the right amount of power for me? I challenge you to run the least amount of power possible. The less power, the more throttle sensitivity. Our throttle stick only moves this far, and these things have a shitload of horsepower. So the less power that's in this tiny little stick movement from full throttle to zero throttle, the more sensitive you can be on the throttle. So when you slam down low to the ground and you want to just sit the rig like an inch off the ground and just scrape the grass for like a half a mile, the less power you have, the more sensitivity you have in your throttle throw, the easier, literally the easier that is going to be, and the better pilot you're going to look like. I swear to God, it makes you look like a better pilot when you have less power in your throttle throw. The problem is, it's less fun. It is literally less fun to have less power, because there is nothing more fun than hammering full throttle for like 2 full seconds and then looking down and just watching the rig go whee! That is very fun, admittedly, but it makes your job harder as a pilot. That's the only scenario where it's better. But I challenge you to move that motor output limit down from 90% to 85% and go fly some more. Then move it down to 80% and go fly another battery. Then move it down to 75%. At some point, it's going to become excruciating, and you're going to be like, no, 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 not enough. And you're going to want more power, and that's fine. And then you turn that power up. What you're trying to do is you're trying to find the right amount of power for you on that rig. Do that with motor output limiting. Get that number locked in, and then if you don't have enough PID loop authority, you can move your P's and your D's and I's up, or you can move your PID sum up, and you can adjust your PID tune individually. But by getting your motor output limiting set properly with the least amount of power that you can stand, you now have adjustability. You can now add or subtract power from that rig, and it will scale the PIDs up and down along with it. And that's really, really nice. That's a really nice thing to have access to. if you go to a spot that's higher in elevation, if there's, well, so let's talk about that. Okay, yeah, all right, so then, so the easy button at that point is when you go out and fly, if you want more power, you turn the motor output limiting up, you get access to more horsepower on the throttle stick, you also get more PID authority. If your PID tune is at the absolute limit, if your PID tune and your PID sum is at the absolute limit of what's possible, which it shouldn't be, it's then that's actually a problem at that point. But I'm going to assume that none of you guys are doing that because there's kind of no reason to do that. Like, the gains that you get from going to the bitter edge of what's possible are almost nothing. So don't do that. And the drawbacks are huge. Cooked motors, cooked ESCs, there's just no reason to do that in my opinion. But if you want to do that, then you actually want to do this all with the throttle cut. Those of you that I'm talking to about that right now, you know, I'm not going to go into more detail because if you're pushing your PID tune that far, you should understand all this that I'm talking about, and you should know why you need to be using the throttle cut rather than the motor output limit. For everybody else, myself included, the motor output limit is going to work perfectly for that. Now, this is the last little bit of it. Technically speaking, the perfect situation, and this is for those of you that do want to put your PID tune absolutely on the ragged edge to the point where if you bend a propeller, the rig is going to catch on fire and kill children. For you people, you need to use the throttle cut for that, and then you need to dial your PIDs in with PID sum individually. And now here's what's going to happen. If you're actually going to combine all three of those things. You're going to bring your motor output limit down to, like, let's just say 90%. You're going to set your PID sum and your PIDs up to the ragged edge of what's possible. And then you're going to use your throttle cut to adjust how much power you have at the top of the throttle. And now here's what's going to happen. You probably want to set your throttle cut down to 90% too, right? You want to have both the throttle cut and the motor output limit pulled down a little bit so that you have headroom, right? And now if you go to a higher elevation where the air is thinner, you can use motor output limit to fix. So without any of this, you go from 1,000 feet above sea level in Atlanta to 10,000 feet in Colorado, and the rig flies like shit. When you're full throttle, you don't have enough power. When the PID loop is active, it doesn't have enough authority because the air is thinner. So in that scenario, you boost your motor output limit up to 100%. That fixes the PIDs, and that fixes your throttle. All right? If you stay here in Atlanta at 1,000 feet above sea level, but you go to a spot that's huge where you want only more horsepower, right? You just use the throttle cut. You just pull your throttle cut up to give you that extra little bit of horsepower. Your PIDs are at the ragged edge, and you're not changing the air density. So you can't use the motor output limit in that scenario because you're not changing elevation, right? You're changing, you're just changing the location that you're flying at. You're changing the amount of power that you want on the throttle, basically, right? So that's how those three things, PID sum, the PIDs, and the motor output limiting, and throttle cut, work together. And those are kind of like all the situations of how you would move one versus the other. I know that's a lot. Here's what it is. Run 6S on a 5-inch freestyle rig, run 6S, buy motors that are 1800 kV or 1900 kV or 2000 kV, motor output limit them down to 80%, go fly the rig, see how it flies, adjust that motor output limit scale to exactly the amount of total power that you want, then tune your rig, and you're done. That's what I do. That is exactly the process that I do. All of the shit that you've seen from me flying for the last, year, pretty much, has had that. That is how I've been setting my rigs up for this entire time, and it works beautiful. I've had rigs with 2400 kV motors on 6S, 1800 kV motors on 6S, 1600 kV, 2000 kV. The motor output limiting covers your ass. Again, I don't run my PID tune absolutely to the ragged edge because that's silly in my opinion. And that's a requirement. You can't have a ragged edge PID tune and pull this off, but you shouldn't anyway. And the big long description, if you want to go to the ragged edge, is what you have to do. Motor output limiting is a big deal. This is one of the many things that Betaflight does that you can't get anywhere else. It's one of the many reasons that most of us, probably 99% of the FPV community is on Betaflight. And it's a big deal. And it's not that complicated, right? Like, motor output limiting just scales the amount of power that it tells the ESC to send out. Start using it. And you could absolutely make the argument that we should all be running 2400 kV motors on 6S because it works completely fine. I have at least 100 batteries through this squid and another squid that are on 2400 kV F40 Pro 2s and F40 Pro 4s that were scaled down to 65%, I believe it was, and I've back-to-back them. I've done everything I possibly can to poke holes in that, mainly because... So there was a time period where I almost had myself convinced to get rid of all of my 6S kV motors and re-buy all 2400 kV motors. I was really trying to convince myself out of that because that would be expensive. So I was trying like hell to poke holes in 2400 kV on 6S at 65% motor output limiting. And I was kind of unable to. So in the end, I didn't do that because... So the reason I was trying to poke holes in it was because I was being a cheap bastard. The drive forcing me to try to the other side of that was, if I move all my rigs to 2400 kV motors and I go out and fly and I run out of batteries and I'm flying with somebody that's on 4S, I'm good to go. I can borrow their 4S batteries. With the trick that I showed you with the multiple PID profiles, it'll automatically snap to PID profile 2, which is set up for cell count of 4 at 100% scale factor, and I'm good to go. But I can't remember the last time I ran out of batteries. I can't remember the last time I forgot to bring my batteries. And I read from multiple people that, yes, there is an efficiency difference, that you do lose, and that apparently you also potentially lose throttle resolution. I don't really know about that. I would have felt that. That was kind of a big part of it, is I just could not tell a difference at all. I could not tell a single difference between 2400 kV motor output limited down on 6S, 1800 kV, 1600 kV, it didn't matter, on 6S. So you could absolutely make the argument that we should be running 2400s on 6S, but I'm going to stick with 18, 19, 2000 kV, 1800, 1900, 2000 kV, 2306s on 6S that I scale down to about 90 or so percent in the motor output limiting. Cool? Makes sense? I am way behind on chat. Hang on a second. And remember...
諦めんなよ諦めんなお前どうしてそこでやめるんだそこでもう少し頑張ってみろよダメ目諦めたら周りのことを思うよ応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろってあともうちょっとのところなんだから俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ絶対やってみろ必ず目標達成できるだからこそネバギブアップ
Alright, motor output, is that what it's called? Motor output limit versus, what do they call it? Throttle limit. I'm going to say throttle cut. I don't want it the same. I don't want limit in both. Cool. Let me get caught up on chat as quickly as possible. I'm going to go full fucking speed through this because I'm a half an hour behind on chat. So here we go. Adam Cable says, homemade FPV box genius, real man of genius. Just took me back to my childhood. Yeah, that was a long Real Man of Genius is old, right? Was that Old Spice? Was that an Old Spice commercial? 10 points to whoever figures that out. Athix says, did you like Hot Garbage / Oscar? What the hell's that? I don't know what that is, Athix. June Loco says, what could be causing my Crossfire to read RSSI 8 on my OSD? Man, I have such a lack of knowledge on like how RSSI works and how LQ. I really need to watch a couple Joshua videos on how RSSI and LQ work, especially with Crossfire. If you do that and you find out the answer to that, June Loco, let me know. Chomper says, I just used motor limiting on this new Cinewoop build. I also bought 4S motors because they were sold out of 6S, and I'm just scaling them down. Solid tips that keep saving me headaches. Nice, Chomper. Doc Murdoch says, good evening. Athix says, my 9-inch frame is in New Jersey. Jesus, 9-inch. That's what she said. CiottiFPV says, I set my motor limit up using the CLI. This way is much easier. What is it in the, Scott, tag me again. What is it called in the CLI? Never mind. Don't tell me. It's just going to piss me off because it's been in there apparently forever. Steady Eddie says, I did the PID sum thing on my whoops. It did help with some of the yaw wash. Project Mockingbird brushed whoop was already set to 1,000. Oh, that's interesting. Project Mockingbird also figured that out. Very cool. 661FPV says, what's the difference between PID sum limit and motor output limit? So we did talk through that. Let me know if you're still not clear on that, 661FPV. Make sure you tag me if you're not. I can totally tell you again. Double A says, hey there. Ricardo Ferrari says, just found out about Spang style. My apologies to your eyeballs and your ear balls. I find stick bang really hard to watch. I can't watch it. It makes me nauseous. 8XFPV says, talking about power and control, I've been flying these old Fury B2306 2400s. I feel like I have more control in these than the Drib 2306 2700s. Might be experience or not giving an F. My guess would be it's because they have less power. They have less horsepower, and that gives you literally more control. That gives you more sensitivity on the throttle. I'm telling you guys, man, less horsepower is better. Less thrust is better. Up to a point. Like, there's a point where there's not enough, and that sucks. But modern motors make a fucking ton of power. And for freestyle, unless you like the look of just firing up into the clouds over and over and over again and then just waiting to come down, less power, man. Less power is the answer. Less power and less weight. Ricardo also says, YouTube did the thing, I'm scrolling back up. Can I use a 2204 motor diatone on a 3-inch Cinewoop? You can, Ricardo. That is the preferred motor for heavy Cinewoops, like 500, 600 plus gram Cinewoops perform really well on a 2204. If you've got a lighter weight Cinewoop like me, I build Cinesplores, which come in at between 440 and 480 grams all up weight. A 2004 is a better motor option. Big FPV says, just a heads up on Kiss and Flight 1, have dough that too for a long time. Big FPV, are you saying that Kiss and Flight 1 have had PID sum, motor output limiting, and throttle cut? I didn't think they did, but you know, I could absolutely be wrong. I spent a couple of months with Kiss and Flight 1, and they just fly terrible, in my opinion. So I stopped kind of learning about them. Grizz FPV says, what's up? What's going on, Grizz? Metal Dirtskin says, real Man of Genius was Bud Light. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Good call. Adam Cable says it's a Bud Light commercial. Go-Kart Mozart says, real Man of Bud Light. Bonus... Fuck, come on. Bonus fact, the guy singing also sang Eye of the Tiger. No way. Scott FPV says, I followed a video by Drainman FPV. Paul McDonald says, at Ricardo, I put 2204 FPV cycles on my squirt at CiottiFPV's recommendation, and it's amazing. And then Big FPV says, motor output limiting, yes, they do. Very cool. Very, very cool. And just like that, we're caught up on chat. If you guys have any more questions on motor output versus throttle cut, let me know. I am going to start on this cinematic build some more. Cheers, queers. Athex FPV says, hot garbage Oscar is that throw together rig I just got together with random parts, like I said, with Fury Beam winners. Gotcha. Now that statement makes much more sense. Let's get it. Greetings, cretins! Oh god, this is still plugged in. Okay. Okay. All is right with the world now. We're fine. Everything's cool. Nothing is fucked here. They're a bunch of fucking amateurs. Alright. So hey, here's the new camera angle. My question to you guys is it too wide? BeepTube says, one of my favorite quads to fly is that 6-inch glide on 1700 kV 4S. Throttle resolution is great, and the power is adequate. Plus, I can cruise for 8 minutes if I want. 687 grams. Yeah, BeepTube is kind of hitting on less power being better. Not in all cases, but you guys know what I'm saying. If you've been on the hype train, if you've been running like new modern motors for a long time, I'm telling you, turn the power down. And here's the real thing. Watch your footage. Go out and fly. You're not going to like it with less power, but then watch your footage. I bet you like your footage better. And I bet you when you watch your footage, you're going to be like, oh, I look like a better pilot. That's what I really noticed. When I started pulling the power down on my rigs, the first 5-inch freestyle rig I built was on 2600 kV 2207s, and they were BBB 2207s, which had this tiny little air gap and really powerful magnets. That fucking thing made so much power. And then when I moved to T-Motor F40 Pro 2s at 2400 kV, it was like night and day. I just, even in the goggles, I was like, wow, like I got better overnight. And then I would watch my footage, I'm like, holy shit, like I can actually fly now. It really made a huge, yeah, I'm telling you. Steady Eddie says, have you used race mode? I don't even know what race mode is. Just turned it on for my Cinewhoop, and I'm liking the way it lets me fly. Acro on pitch, but angle on roll. Oh, that's what is that? That's not Butterflight. That's what's the other one? What's the fork of the? What's the Betaflight fork right now? Why can't I think of it? Emu Flight. That's that Emu Flight nonsense. I wasn't really into Emu Flight. I gave it a chance. It really didn't do anything for me. It doesn't have RPM filtering. And I'm a couple thousand hours in. A major change like that would just melt my brain. But if you're digging it, Steady Eddie, go forth and love it. Because, although within reason, like you said, you put it on your Cinewhoop. As you put more and more time in, you want to try to reduce the number of things that are different between your rigs. So be a little bit careful with that. I've got a couple of Session 5s here that I think the batteries are shitting the bed on. So I've had this one plugged in all day. I'm going to turn it on and see how long it runs. Or it's not going to turn on and I'm going to throw it in the dumpster. Oh, there it goes. You going to record now, little friend? Ooh, this light is broken on this one. Okay, so this is recording. I'm just going to let this record, and I'll see how long the files are. And I have another one that's been plugged in over here that I'm going to do the same thing with. Is there a memory card in it? There is. All right, cool. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And... What? No, don't take pictures. This one does this. I crashed this one so hard that for some reason when you first turn it on, it's in time-lapse mode. But then if you just keep hitting the record button, usually it'll start recording video. But right now it isn't. They start to act really funny when you start really pounding on them. Just like my ex-wife. What are you doing now? Yeah, see, now it's in video mode. What sucks is the... oh, well, maybe it's just covered. I thought that the little light blew up on the front of this, but I just noticed that there's, like, shit jammed in here. So maybe the light's under there blinking. I don't think it is. No, it's not. Because I can still... Yeah, so this... That's funny. One of these, the front light is the only one that works. And the other one of these, the back light, is the only one that works. It's really... This one's really annoying. Having this front light not flash sucks. Because it's hard to see the light in the back when it's in the TPU case. Yeah, so look. This one, the front light works, but the back light is blown up. And on this one, the back light works, but the front light is blown up. But this is cool. I'm interested to see how much these two guys record. I'm going to put them right over here next to each other. Okay. So yeah, this is the little bit wider camera angle. Let me know if you guys hate it, and so that I can ignore you. GrizzFPV says, I'm Bill. B-U-I-L. Building my Cinesplorer now, watching the Dangle Man. Paul McDonald says, I can swap those batteries if you need. Oh, in the sessions? Really? No shit. Okay. Let me see how these guys do. There's a chance that I just wasn't plugging them in. That is super awesome, Paul. If you switch them out, do they not... I'm assuming that they're not waterproof anymore? Kevin Summer, I've heard that from people that fix the sessions. Kevin Summer says, you love the FPV Cycle Glide, but what do you think about the FPV Cycle Prototype 5? Kevin, I did a Prototype 5 build here on the channel. You can just go to my videos and search for Prototype and you'll find it. So you can watch me do the build, and then I flew it. I showed flight footage in subsequent streams, and I talked about it. It's a great frame. It's not the frame for me. The way that I build my rigs, the Glide frame is absolutely perfect. 20 by 20 in the front, 30 by 30, 20 by 20 flight control in the front, 30 by 30 ESC in the middle, analog setup with a big capacitor in the back. I can smash it down onto 15 millimeter standoffs, nano camera in the front. It's absolutely perfect. The Prototype 5 is more meant for like running an AIO, for example, or running DJI, neither of which I'm interested in. So yeah, it's a great frame, but I don't. It's mainly for people that run DJI. The camera cage, for example, is specifically sized for the 20 millimeter wide DJI camera. If you're not running that camera, any camera that you put in there is going to be kind of under stress. I also don't really like the location of the battery straps. They're not in good spots for the batteries that I run, which are Tatsu R-Line 6S 1050s. So it's just not the frame for me, but it's a great frame. For me, the Glide frame is just the end-all, be-all. The Glide frame also gives you lots of arm options. You've got 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, 5-inch arms. You've got 5.5-inch arms that are dead cat. You've got 5-inch dead cat front arms. You've got 6-inch arms. You've got 7-inch arms. So there's a million reasons that the Glide is the perfect frame for me. But for some of you guys that are on DJI, the Prototype 5 might be a little bit better. I don't think so, but it could be. HeliG's FPV says, any reason you don't run Throttle Expo? You can get more throttle resolution at mid-throttle without sacrificing any punch. I actually do run Throttle Expo. The flight controller that I had plugged in, it was a defaulted flight controller that doesn't have my tune or any of my stuff on it. I have Throttle Expo on, I think, everything at this point. just a little bit. You don't want a lot of, in my opinion, you don't want a lot of throttle expo because it rolls off down low and it rolls off up top, and it just makes the throttle less linear. But a little bit of throttle expo, I run like 0.2, and I center it exactly on the... So the way that I set up my throttle expo is I put it to the minimum value. I'm sorry, I leave it completely off, rather. I go out and I fly the rig and I put my throttle, one of the OSD elements is throttle percent. So I go out and I fly around and I'll hover it and I'll look at what the throttle percent is. So let's say it's 30%. 30% is hover throttle. And then I'll go and I'll fly slowly and I'll look at what the throttle is. And then I'll go and I'll put really put the nose down and fly quickly, and then I'll look at what the throttle percentage is. And then I'll just fly a couple of freestyle batteries. And as often as I can, I'll glance over at the throttle percent when I'm just cruising. At that point, I have a little bit of a range of where my cruising throttle is. And then I go right in the middle of that range. Usually that's about 35% throttle. That's usually my like normal throttle cruise. So I then turn throttle expo to 20%, 0.2, and then I put the center point exactly at that 35. So that 35 covers if it's a faster cruise or if it's a slower cruise. And when you're cruising, that's when you want to have the most throttle control. That's when you want to have the softest and the most sensitivity on the throttle stick. So that's my way of setting that, and it works really well. But don't use a lot of throttle expo. It just makes it too inconsistent. It makes the pickup of throttle at the top too sharp, and it actually also makes the pickup of throttle on the bottom too sharp as well. So just use like 0.1, 0.15, maybe 0.2. Go-Kart Mozart says, crack that dead GoPro open, make the first naked session. A bunch of people have actually made naked sessions. The whole ripping GoPro things apart, ugh, it just makes me want to jump off a building. I save them, and then I've got a couple of guys that have offered to repair them for me, and I'll send them to them when I have a couple of them, and they'll do magic things with them. Yarbs says, I've got the episode of that show mentioned earlier. I DM'd you on Discord. Thank you, Yarbs. Paul McDonald says, yeah, for the most part, I can make some gaskets if needed to replace, keep them as waterproof as possible. But yeah, I can line every stream with cock. I like pronouncing caulk as cock because I'm 8 years old. Kevin Summers says, that is excellent insight on the prototype. Check out your previous video. Thanks. You're certainly welcome. Jackalope says, do you know if your glide setup could fit a Caddx Vista Nebula Pro? It would not. The Nebula Pro camera would not fit under the 15mm standoffs. I could do the Nebula Nano. If the Vista, I would have to sacrifice the capacitor, which sucks. And then I'd have to run a Caddx Vista. I assume that the Caddx Vista is less than 15mm tall. But everybody bitches about the Caddx Nebula Nano camera. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy being on analog for a litany of reasons, mainly cost. When they do come out with a good nano DJI camera, though, we'll see. Because I could potentially run a smaller capacitor and kind of figure that out, but for now, it's analog or nothing for me. Let's get to work! Thumbs up or thumbs down for the new wider camera angle. Let a brother know. So this is going to become the cinematic glide. I'm very tempted to put in this TBS Unify Evo. But I don't know. It's already got my favorite. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this. This is nonsense. Everybody I've ever talked to that has really pounded on and used the shit out of the TBS Unifies has complained that like every time you plug the quad in, it's like they lose a little bit of power, and the Immersion RC Tramps just don't do that, and I'm just not interested. And this is already wired up. I guess if the wiring's not long enough, maybe I'll think about it, but it's going to be fine. So this is the squid that's going into this frame. Unfortunately, I forgot to put the stack mount hardware through here. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do is remove these arms, all 4 of them actually, which is frustrating, but not the end of the world. So let me get my handy little M5.5 driver out. This is also the old school Glide base plate that uses nylock nuts rather than press nuts, which is kind of fun. So this is old school. The story behind this glossy Glide frame is that a long time ago, Bob had a really short little fun run of these made and sold them on his website. And I snagged one. Brad snagged one. I blew mine up. I actually painted mine. I painted over mine a little bit with this color-changing paint that was really cool. And then flew it a lot and destroyed it. And Brad did not. And then eventually he sent this to me, and it's been sitting waiting. I was gonna do a FETech build with this, but then I realized that, you know, there's no point in that because kits don't fly good. I mean, it flies okay, but it doesn't crash well. You got to keep like totally fresh motors, totally fresh props all the time when you compare it to Betaflight. And so when I kind of abandoned that FETech build, it just sat in a bag. And then the other day, I remembered that I had it, and I said, you know what? This is perfect. It's a cinematic build, so I shouldn't be crashing it. So this, you know, limited edition, like never to be produced again in gloss like this frame should last a while. We'll find out. Wolf Cola, boys and girls. Wolf Cola. Come on. Hold on. Oh my god. I cranked these really tight last night. Must have been after I was whacking it. There we go. All right. So. Frank Nicholas says Cadix Nano camera is bad versus Nebula Pro / DJI, but it is much better than anything analog. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that. I really wish that that DJI would get their shit together with a couple of things, and because I would love to go over, but there's just too many drawbacks at the moment, which we've talked about on this channel ad nauseum, so I will not go back into them and bore you guys, because you all know my stance by now. You know what? I might as well wipe some of this stuff off. I kind of like hastily pieced it together yesterday without cleaning it. Paul McDonald says angle would be better with more resolution, but it's a good angle for sure. Gotcha, Paul. That's really good feedback. BeepTube says the AOS 3.5-inch frame came in pretty nice. One weird drawback is that if you get the version with countersunk screws, the screws for the top plate are for a 1.27 millimeter hex. What? That's annoying. BeepTube says CNC Madness should include a wrench with those frames. Wow, that's crazy. Frank Nicholas says FPV cycle 5-inch motors in stock. Very cool. Wow, it's been a long wait. I was kind of thinking of maybe getting a set, but then I saw how heavy they were, and now I'm not. I'm perfectly content with F40 Pro 4s. Although I am considering trying out a set of the Axis 2306s, but I don't know. I don't know. Kind of depends on how heavy they are. Orga A says, off topic, want to build something with 4 motors, 2 horizontal and 2 vertical. Can I use Betaflight to set different channels for throttle control instead of each one separately? I have no idea, Orga, but that sounds super interesting. When you find out the answer to that, I'm kind of curious, to tell you the truth. That sounds pretty neat. Get it! Yeah, let us know when you find the answer. I don't even know where to tell you to look for the answer to that. Maybe, you know where you might be able to look is like the flight test Facebook group. There's all kinds of people that do wacky shit in there. That might be a good spot to ask. That's where I would go if I was going to do something wacky like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. So, I also think it's kind of cool you guys can see the tools a little bit with this camera angle, right? I don't know. Maybe you don't care about that. Let me move this workbench over a little bit. Hingus! Alright, there we go. Cool. Can you guys still read this shit down here? Is this still readable? It's like kind of white on white now, which is annoying. I think you can still kind of read it, right? 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 Okay, so we got to put the stack mount hardware through the holes in the base plate that get covered up by the X plate. So we're going to do that first here. I am using big, long titanium screws. The stack mount screws, in my opinion, are kind of the only spot that if you're going to use titanium hardware, that you should be using titanium hardware, because they just don't put up with that much abuse. They don't. The stack is really not heavy enough typically to ruin the titanium hardware, and it is quite a bit lighter. Like, these long screws probably save me 2 or 3 grams, being titanium rather than stainless steel. So, all right. I do not want you guys looking at my tool, Metal Dirt Skin. Athix says, random question, it's perfectly legible, BeepTube says. Text at bottom is white with black outline, perfectly legible, Frank says as well. Awesome. Yeah, the text at the bottom it just had a drop shadow, and when I moved the camera last night, I realized it was kind of illegible, so I also turned on the outline. And I think it looks fine, but I look at it through OBS. I don't look at it through YouTube, and God knows what YouTube's compression does. Well, I know what YouTube's compression does. It destroys everything in sight. So, you know. There it is. Athix, random question. I'm running individual ESCs, GemFan Maverick 30 amp 2 to 6S. One ESC is not showing up in BL Heli 32. I mean, unfortunately with ESCs, like, they either work or they don't. And if they don't, you replace them. Like, there's really not, like... I mean, check the wiring, but other than that, like, if it ain't showing up, it ain't working. Oh, did this just strip out? Well, it's actually fine. It only stripped out a little bit. It'll be okay. The stack mount screws, again, they don't really put up with much punishment, so they don't need to be absolutely cranked down. And with that being a little bit stripped out, it's going to be fine. The ESC is going to be on top of it, and then there's going to be another spacer on top of that. So yeah, it's going to be all right. He going to be all right. Okay, this guy and this guy. So these are 3mm? Yes, these are 3mm thick spacers that I believe I got from Newbie Drone. Don't quote me on that, but I think these are They're definitely 3mm M3 spacers, and I got them from Newbie Drone. Newbie Drone also has 2mm knurled aluminum spacer standoffs. Now you know. I don't remember which one is which. There we go. That's the one. I don't think Pyro Drone has 5mm, but that's a bit much for this stack. No real reason to need that much. Okay. Just make sure these guys are all somewhat tight, other than the stripped out one. You know what? I'm actually going to remove the stripped out one, and I'm going to swap it. I'm going to put that one on top of the ESC rather than on the bottom here. Because you do want to have a little bit of tightness in these so that they can, so that the uprights are not like kind of wobbling around. And I don't think they would wobble around with this, but still, it just, if I'm going to have a stripped out spacer, I would rather it be above the ESC, now that I kind of think through it. I should strip that right out. The titanium against the aluminum, the titanium is a lot harder than the aluminum. So you got to be a little bit careful. Stainless steel is not that bad. Stainless steel is soft like the aluminum, so it doesn't strip it out quite as easily, in my experience. If there's any material scientists out there, they can hopefully back me up on that. There we go. That one's not stripped out. Cool. So there's our stack mount hardware, nice and tight. And no real reason to put the arms on yet. You can just kind of leave those off and start getting the stack in here. Although the motors are going to be all flopping around, so yeah. Well, we'll package some of this stuff first. So we'll put this on. We'll deal with the motors last. So here goes our little ESC action. We're going to drop that on down. I already know that this stuff is going to clear because I've built a million of these glides. Let me run my constant on LED down through the leads of the capacitor here. So at this point, let me know if you guys are still okay with this camera angle, because at this point you guys might not be able to see what the hell I'm doing. It's an easy fix. I can digitally zoom it in, or I mean, shit, I can even move the damn thing down. Just physically move it down. That's fine. But yeah, let me know if at this point it becomes like Struggle Street to see what in the hell I'm doing, and we'll just keep making changes. Frank Nicholas says, I find most places have 2mm and 5mm, 3mm threaded M3 threaded spacers. If I need 2mm in length, I use 2 by 1mm, I think. Hey, what's up, Ben? Ben Holmquist is a buddy of mine from Charleston that I met through Miata's, who's been doing some really cool shit. He got hired by Red Bull to drive their crazy custom-built truck thing to events and rep the brand, and he is a hell of a brand rep. He's a really good dude, and a great driver as well. We met through Miata's, not through autocross, right? We met through Miata's, and then I think you started autocrossing, Ben, right? Might be the other way around. Here's my face. I don't know. Frank Nicholas says, move the camera closer to you. There's a strip the size of the text at the bottom that shows only desktop. So I can't. I have the camera on all of the extension poles. So this is as far forward as I can get it. If I tilt the camera up more like this, you're gonna see my dick. So I'm not gonna do that. So this is pretty much it. I can either move it down closer, or I'm not going to move it any... I actually can't move it any farther away. This is as far away as I can get it, which is nice because it gives me a little bit more room to kind of move my hands around. And, like, I don't know, I just think it's nice that you guys can see the tools and shit, too. But the struggle is going to be that I can only stream at 720p. So if you guys can't see any details down here of what I'm doing, I'll pull the camera back down or I'll digitally zoom it in. Okay, so let's see if... Oh, interesting. So the way that these wires, the length of these wires makes this capacitor want to kind of naturally be on this side, which is not the side that I usually put it on. I usually put it on this side, but there's no reason to not put it on the other side. Yes, there is. The location of the header, plug header on the VTX is the reason. So let's see what I can fandangle here. So if I build it like this, oh yeah, that ain't gonna work. Okay, so that's just simply not gonna work. So let's see, is there enough? Oh, we're fine. There's enough cable length. Oh yeah, totally fine. So let me just push on this a little bit, and all is right with the world. Hey Ben, let the people know where they can hit you on Instagram to see your wild Red Bull adventures. It's fun to watch that guy. You guys should follow him on Hipstergram. It's cool to see him go into some fun events. I'm really hoping that that I can make it out to one of these. I see him at a lot of motocross events, and I've been really dying to fly motorcycles. So I'm hoping I can make it out to one of those at some point here. That would be super fun. Isaac M says, last Sunday was my first time racing, my first time flying with other people. It was an amazing experience. I encourage anyone who's only flown alone to go to find a group to fly with. Yeah, it is fun to fly with other people. Frank Nicholas says, slide your toolbox an inch closer. Camera angle / zoom is okay for me. If I slide the toolbox closer, you'll see my dick. And it's just not happening, Frank. It's just not happening. CiottiFPV says, Gangly Man crotch cam or full table. Metal Skin with a $5 super chat. He flew a battery with Vanover this weekend. I know that's a terrible vicarious thing to say, but just let me have this one thing, LOL. Metal Nerdskin's famous. Him and Ellen DeGeneres are flying on the weekends now. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. Alright, so we're good here. This capacitor is going to fit just fine. There's some VHB on the bottom of this thing. I'm going to bring this VHB back to life a little bit with fire. Where the hell is that lighter? Really? Oh, there it is. It's in the front. If your VHB gets like not so sticky and you're a lazy son of a bitch like me, just use fire. I don't know if it actually helps, but you know, maybe it does. If it doesn't, then you know at least you got to play with fire for a minute. So it's all good. Only good things. Life advice. Random FPV says, CiottiFPV, have my babies. No, Random. No. No! No! Have your own goddamn babies. Okay, look at that. We got a capacitor stuck to the bottom plate. Now, let's see if the rest of this nonsense is going to fit. I really hope it does. This would be really, really, really nice if I didn't have to extend any of these cables or rewire any of this nonsense. And it's looking pretty good. that's going to be okay there. This is going to move up here. Oh, I'm going to have to switch this TPU piece out. That's completely fine. I'm totally okay with that. Okay. Start to get this guy off of here. But it looks like the cables from the flight controller to the ass of this thing are long enough, which makes my wiener sing. I mean, makes me happy. Makes me happy. That's what it makes. It makes me happy. Because it makes my wiener sing. Farts. So we got a little bit of this. We're going to pull this off of here. And Bob will have become my uncle. All right, Uncle Bob, thank you. And there we go. Let's kick this out of here. And we got our crossfire on... Why red? No, nothing is red on here. There's a couple things that are red on here. So, just in case you're wondering, I am being lazy and leave. So when I built the Prototype 5, I had to use a 30x30 flight controller because it doesn't have provisions for 20x20 up front like the glide frame does. And I'm just being lazy, and I'm just going to reuse this 30x30 flight controller. Also, I don't know, it'll be cool to have a glide with a 30x30 stack. I'm also going to be using a CCD camera. Chris Rosser put a video out the other day, CCD cameras versus CMOS cameras, and what I completely forgot about CCD cameras is that they don't use a rolling shutter. They expose the entire frame all at once. And I'm kind of curious about what that looks like. Something that happens to me when I fly really, really, really low to the ground is the rolling shutter distorts the ground a little bit. And I'm wondering if a CCD camera will not distort the ground. Well, I know that it won't distort the ground. What I'm wondering is if that'll make it a little bit easier to fly or whatever. So I'm putting this thing on 20mm standoffs, which is going to clear this, and will also clear this. Since it's a cinematic rig, I'm not going to crash it as hard as my normal rigs, so the whole 15mm standoff thing is not as important to me. So, yeah. This is going to be a 20mm standoff glide with a micro camera rather than a nano camera, and a big fat donger. No, a full 30x30 stack. So that'll be kind of cool. Won't it? It won't? Yeah, well, it's worth a shot. Random FPV says, oh, come on. Ah! Get in there. Get in there, Ellen DeGeneres. There we go. If anybody doesn't get the Ellen DeGeneres reference, look up a picture of Vanover and then look up a picture of Ellen DeGeneres. And then you'll get the reference. It's an old, probably stale joke, but, you know, I'm an old, stale kind of guy. Those of you that met me will know what I mean! Okay, that's good to go. Let's get these back standoffs off here. Okay, and let's take these ugly red crossfire pieces of TPU off, and we're going to replace them with beautiful violet TPU, which is in one of these here inside out FPV crate boxes. Know what I'm saying? This is my TPU box. Here they are. Let's pull two of these out of here. And cool. I think I'm also going to need a, yeah, I'm going to need a little UFO. Well, what am I doing with the antenna on this? I want to run a longer antenna. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to run that big long. Yeah. I'm going to run that big long True RC. Look at this thing. Look at this big dickin' bastard. Oh, yeah. Look how long my antenna is, bro. It's a little wobbly, but, you know, if you stroke it a little bit. I'm going to jail. Going to jail. It's official. This was the live stream that ended it all. Frank Nicholas says, rolling shutter issue is generally seen when panning left-right, not moving forward or back. It's a shearing appearance. Oh, no shit. Well, I'm going to try it anyway, because I'm curious. Chomper FPV says, oh, I know what the joke meant. I went to Google her flying a plane and it hit me. I laughed pretty hard. Nice. Frank also says that long floppy antenna is probably going to flop around vibration and potentially get into the props. Yeah, I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to leave it full floppy. I'm going to show you guys how I prep my antennas to correct that a little bit. What's going on, Bobby? How are you, man? Good to see you back. Let the people know what you got going on. Everybody go subscribe to Bubby or I will cut your head off with a pair of safety scissors from back in school. It'll take hours and you won't like it. But I'll do it. I will do it. If I have to. Ah! Come on, get off of there. There we go. That's better. Alright, instead of peeling the rest of this off, I'm just going to melt it off. Because I'm being lazy. I just want to get this, I just want to get through this. Alright, and so any excuse to play with fire. Other side here. Alright, totally unnecessary way of doing that, but I mean, everything we do is somewhat unnecessary, am I right? There we have it. Great! Terrific! No yelling on the bus. Alright, this one's a little bit cleaner. But let's just clean it up a little bit more. Okay. We had Bot in here earlier. We got a Bubby in here now. Who else is gonna come by? Okay, cool. That's looking good. No more little stringy guys. These edges down, and away we go. So I'm gonna put these on the I'm gonna put the flat on the inside, so that means it'll go like that. Okay, get on there, you donkey. Like a donkey. You know that's a lyric to a song. Like a donkey. What the fuck? Ow! This is gonna drive me nuts. There are like left and right sides, and I grabbed two lefts. No, I didn't. I'm good. Hey, I got lucky. Not the first time. Wait, what? Okay, this is good, and that's good, and perfect. So this is all set. Now I just need to get the... Oh, did I forget to grab one of the... I did. I said out loud, oh, I just need to grab one of these things, and then I put the box away. That was pretty stupid. Let's get let's get a little true RC love going on the bench. Why don't we have one of their little stickers here? Hold on. Remedy that real quick. Unofficial sponsor as of right now, True RC. I've asked Hugo a couple times actually, like, hey, if you're ever looking for to sponsor a freestyle pilot, I talk about your stuff all the time and have been using it forever and love it. but he's never been sued. I don't think he sponsors anybody. I've never seen anybody with a True RC sponsorship, so that makes me feel better. But I don't know. Just keep asking him. I'll just keep bugging him. I message him every once in a while with questions or custom requests and stuff like that. He's a really cool guy. And I just love his products. The True RC stuff has been has outperformed everything else for me pretty consistently. So that's been pretty awesome. Or I can throw it over, I'm going to put it over here. I like this idea better. It's a smaller sticker. Is there a little bit of angle to it when it's on the, or is it flat on the top? What's it look like? Yeah, there's a little angle to it. This side goes down a little bit. Okay, cool. So not totally flat, but kind of like that, I think. Yeah, it looks about right. All right? Trying to line it up on the monitor. Nah, a little bit too much angle, I think. Ah, the mind of a undiagnosed ADHD person. Either or. There we go. Sponsored by Yo Mama. BeepTube says, was that Singularity antenna one of the ones that comes with the tube? Tube. It's not. Doesn't come with the tube or the tube. It's just the really thin UFL. The super thin UFL. What it does have, though, is this really cool little sliding little jerk. It's not a jerk. It's a little lock. It's a little UFL lock. Kind of cool. Kind of useless, to be completely honest, but kind of cool. BeepTube says, took me a while to realize that the True RC logo is a falling maple leaf. I didn't realize that. Is that really what it is? Go Canada! True RC is up in Canada. Hey, here they are. This is what I... oh, that's good. I took it out and then I put it away. Awesome. Way to go, donkey. So this rig is getting a purple GoPro mount. It's got violet rear jib jabs. So I guess I'll use a violet rear wanker. And away we go. Purple on violet. This should be a crime, but it's not, and that's okay. So these two Session 5s are hanging in there. I think what's maybe happened is that the batteries are self-discharging, so I think I just need to plug them in the night before that I'm going to go out and fly, and then they'll be good to go. Because they've been sitting here blinking away for at least a half an hour, and that's usually enough time for me to that's usually enough time to cover a full flight session. 8 batteries, 3 to 5 minutes per battery kind of thing, you know. Bubby says, best 1S LiPo for Tiny Whoops, Newbie Drone Golds, absolutely no questions asked. Nothing touches them. They are a little bit expensive, but you get what you pay for. They make them in 300 mAh. They also make them in 250 mAh. I have about 30 of them. Like, they're that good. So, yeah, go get you some. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, well, then you got to wait for better battery tech. What Tiny Whoop are you working with, Bubby? I've got a super secret Tiny Whoop combo that'll absolutely blow your tits off, if you're interested. Got one of those Nazgul baby drone thingies coming in, so I'll check those out. I don't know what that is. Here's the super secret Tiny Whoop combo. Happy model 65 millimeter cockroach frame from Newbie Drone. either Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors, or if Jesse has them in stock, tinywhoop.com 0802 24,000 kV motors. Whatever the hell AIO you can get. The Newbie Drone V3 AIO is probably your best bet, but it's kind of expensive. Goku, there's a new Goku 1S AIO that just came out that I think is the next best option, and it's $20 less expensive, which is pretty cool. And then whatever the hell camera setup you want. I really like the Newbie Drone Goober Canopy, because you can put a little TPU thing up on top to hold an Insta360 Go. If you look on my channel, Bubby, there's a couple of cinematic edits of me flying around well, here, I'll drop a couple of links real quick here for you. The ability to carry an Insta360 Go on top of a 65mm Tiny Whoop is goddamn magic. Like, actual magic. So here's a couple of the edits that I have up. Is it just these two? I have a bunch on Instagram. Have I really not put the... Did I not put any of the yoga edits up in here? What the hell's going on? Bueller? Really? Or did I make a playlist that's called Cinematic Ass? What the shit? Okay. Hold on. Athix says, did you ever use the bottle rocket motors? I did. I tested them. They're just like the Happy Model 25,000s. Okay. Let's see. Wow, I did. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Insta360 Go. Oh, the comparison video. That's right. That's right. Well, shit, I didn't put any of the finished stuff up here. I gotta put some of the finished yoga edits up here. What's the matter with me? I put them onto to Hipstergram, but I didn't put them up here. So here you go, brother. Here's that's just a comparison of the 3 different modes. But I mean, it's a flight that I did with this combo. And then here's a fly through of the shop that's had the Miata for coming up on a year. And then here is another fly through that same shop. Without the Insta360 Go on it, it feels, it's like you can do like 5-inch freestyle moves in the house. It's absolutely outrageous. It's the most impressive Tiny Whoop ever. And then the fact that you can just throw an Insta360 Go on there is hysterical. So, yeah, get you some. Kevin Summer got his first cockroach frames about a month ago. Both broke hard in the first crash. Did I get a bad batch, or do I need to keep like 30 of them on hand? I've heard of people breaking those cockroach frames. I've never been able to break one. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. The Beta FPV Meteor 65 frames are a little bit more bendy, and I've heard from people that they crash better, but I really like how stiff the cockroach frames are. So I'm sticking with the cockroach frames, and like I said, I've only had one break, and it was from a vicious crash. So yeah, I don't know, but it's not just you. I have heard that. I have heard that the cockroach frames are not as durable as the Meteor 65 frames. So yeah, there's a little data point for you. I do need another piece of VHB for this little guy, because the plug header on the Immersion RC Tramp sits up a little high. So let's just get that taken care of real quick here. And then we can move on. Throw the arms on. See how much I have to shorten up the rear motor leads. And then we'll be pretty much good to go. This is going to be a quick little build here. Shit, I should have cut more. I'm gonna cut another piece. It's a little bit longer this time. I need to get some DVR of hammering that. I've played it live on stream before. Me ripping that that ridiculous 64mm rig around the apartment here without the Insta360 Go on it. But I got to get some video from the immersion power play. It looks so good. Looks so much better than regular DVR. It's incredible. Of me hammering around in here because it's really fun. Kevin Summer says they broke the duct mounts and the plastic around the motor screws shattered. Jesus, that's crazy. I've actually never seen it break there. It's only ever broken at the up at the lip of the ducts for me. Hey, Bubby, by the way, I look for the orange in the chat. So if you want to get my attention, just type CiottiFPV. You don't have to type the @ If you just type CiottiFPV, it'll light up an orange for me, and that's what I usually look for in the chat, like that. So yeah, if you want me to see what you're saying, just type my name in there, and it makes it a lot easier for me. Otherwise, I'll probably miss a comment or two of yours, or just repeat yourself. It's totally fine. I don't mind. What's next? Where did that piece of VHB go? Here it is. That's what's next. Man, these two session 5s are just going and going and going. Very cool. I am happy about that. They're I was sort of like not surprised that they were dead because these two have taken a hell of a lot of abuse. These are the two most beat up session 5s that I've got. I've got one more somewhat fresh one that has a little bit of a buzz in the microphone, which is kind of fine. And then I've got a damn near brand new one, and then I've got a refurbished one that's damn near brand new as well. So I'm kind of session 5 rich at the I try to keep 5 session 5s on hand at all times. That is getting a lot harder as the prices continue to climb. I just saw one. I just bid on one on eBay that ended up selling for $240. So that's kind of absurd. But it makes me really glad that I have so many that I've kept so many of these on hand. I kind of saw the writing on the wall a little bit with the fact that the prices were going to go nuts on the sessions. So I bought as many as I could get my hands on this year and towards the end of last year. So yeah, but I have broken a couple lately. Not lately. Late last year, I think I managed to break 2 of the damn things. But what's nice is you have to like really try to break them. Like you almost have to like specifically try to break the damn things. Like, oh, I'm gonna break this session now. Like they're almost that strong. It's really kind of crazy. I guess I might as well swap this antenna out while I have this off of here. Oh, you stupid man. You stupid man. Alright. I gotta do this. I gotta remove this shrimp wrap. I forgot to switch the antenna, and I'm not gonna run this little short-ass antenna on a cinematic-ish build. So let's get this guy pulled off of here. And I kind of might as well remove the whole thing of shrink wrap here, but it'll probably just fall off on its own when I try to cut this off of here. Yep, there it goes. That's fine. That's fine. Get out of there. Yeah. There we go. coming off and coming off. Well, Nano's coming off now too. Might as well just get this. Just come on. Oh, here we go. Okay. A, B, C. Get off. There we go. Okay. This is a good little antenna, but it's just too short. So we are going to put this guy in here. But because this is too floppy, we are going to beef this up a little bit with a little bit of shrink wrap. So let's do that real quick here. I have a couple little bags of shrink wrap that I've been meaning to get organized. I think this is skinny enough. That's what she said. Again and again and again. She said it. Yeah, this is the stuff. Well, actually, no, let's see. It's going to sort of depend if it fits over the head of the UFL. Monitor Instance says, you are not on Team Kapton Tape. I am not. Kapton Tape can go fuck itself. I don't have any, and I don't really like. I don't see the point. Like I know the point, but shrimp wrap works totally fine, and I get to say shrimp wrap, so it's a win-win for me. Okay. Come on now. Come on now. Well, hold on, let me see. Once I get that little lock off. Oh, it still won't be big enough. Okay, cool. I'm glad I did that little check. So that means I need to use this stuff. A. Yeah, that's the right size. Okay. Okay. So now I don't need to pull that little shield off because this should fit. Yep. Okay, so here we go. This is the shrimp wrap that we're going to use. I'm going to use that much. And I think I'm going to cut it right around there. Hopefully that's the right amount. If it's not, I'll do it again. Okay. So, we're going to put this over here. And I just realized that I actually want to run it all the way up to the end here. So I don't think I have enough, because that's going to be there, and then that's going to be up in that. Who's what's it? So there, and then it's going to kind of turn the corner. Yeah, not quite enough. That was quick. Back to it. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go a little bit longer this time. Because ladies love length. It's not about girth, guys. It's about length. It's not true. It's how you use it. All right. Get on in there, friend. Oh, man. Only a true crazy person would sit here and do this. Especially in front of other people, but there's one person out there that is so satisfied by the fact that I'm doing this right now. I'm doing this just for you. Just for you, one fellow tortured soul. Ooh, yeah, that's satisfying as shit. Alright, now I can put it away since you guys know I'm crazy. Here we go. Let's see how this shrinks down. I'm not quite sure how far this is going to shrink down. It might not shrink down far enough, but we're going to find out together. So what I like to do when I prep these antennas is I like to take the extra piece of shrink wrap that I'm adding and run it up over this joint. this antenna can blow up on this joint here. So reinforce it with a little bit of shrimp wrap there. So you put it up like that, you push the shrimp wrap into the head of the antenna, and then you just pinch it here to hold it up there, and then you hit it with the lighter. And then it'll shrimp itself around that little joint and give it a little bit more strength. Keep the lighter moving so you don't overheat one part. See what it's doing there? See how it's reinforcing that joint? Isn't that cool? And now we're just going to work our way down and shrimp the rest of this up. And now it's kind of like locked in on there, so you can just sort of come down here and hammer the rest of this with heat. Oh, look at it getting all floppy. Look at this floppy bastard. Flop. Oh, no, don't do that. You'll burn yourself. Oh, the flop. That flop, though. Flop life up in here. Okay. 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 So that is as much as it's going to shrimp up. It's all hot right now, so it's extra floppy. Not to be confused with extra sloppy. Jackalope FPV with a $5 super chat. You want to get shrimped up, pal. Paul McDonald says hot air gun. I refuse to get a hot air gun because they're gigantic. I mean, I have one in the closet, but I refuse to use it because it doesn't involve fire, and I'm an 8-year-old. So it's lighters and mini torches for me. So this is still kind of floppy. I think it actually, I don't know. That might be a little too floppy. We might need to firm this floppy bastard up a little bit. Well, let's do this. I'm going to take that other piece of shrimp wrap that I cut too short, and I'm going to use this one. We're going to double bag it, my friends. When in doubt, double bag it. Don't. It makes things worse. So I'm told. Never tried, but don't. Double bagging it. Here we go. Double rainbow, double shrimp wrap bagging it. If anybody's wondering why I keep saying shrimp wrap, in the late 1700s in Asia, the scientists realized that the exoskeletons of shrimp could be used for waterproofing. So they would use it, and that's where shrink wrap got its name from. It's because it was from shrimp. It was actually an improper translation. Bubby FPV with a $4.99 super chat. He says beans, and yeah, I agree. Hot air guns are blah. Fire betters, cheese and rice. Happy Kwanzaa. Thank you, Bubby. Very cool of you. Metalurgian says I like to shrimp it to a small zip tie. Fucking A. I forgot about that trick. God damn it, Metal. God damn it. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So the and I just shrimped that up, and it's really hard to remove after you've shrimped it up. Damn it. Tasty shrimp platter. Tasty shrimp platter in the chat feels attacked right now. He even changed his little logo. Damn it. I totally forgot about that trick. I love that trick too because it allows the it kind of forces the antenna to only bend in the one direction, which is really, really nice. Well, let's see how it is with the. Let's see how it is double bag. Oh, it's good to go double bagged. It's totally good to go double bagged. Farts. Oh man, it is so hard to cut shrimp wrap off. It's because their little legs are in there. That's why it's so hard to cut it off. I can't cut this off. It'll absolutely drive me insane. Well, next time I'll forget to do it again and be twice as angry. Oh shit. Well, now it's too thick to go. I am going to be cutting it off because it's too thick to go in there now. We got a thickness problem, boys. And it's not the usual thickness problem. So this is going to sit up here like this. Athix says, shell that shrimp wrap. Oh boy. There's Lanky Bastard. He says if he's a mod, Tasty Shrimp Platter needs to be a mod too. Yeah, what the hell. Tasty Shrimp Platter can be a mod. Tasty Shrimp Platter, don't misbehave. Be cool. Where'd you go? Hey, one of the sessions ran out of battery? Is that what that sequence of beeps mean? Oh, it's burning hot. Oh my god, it's hot as hell. But that was a good amount of runtime, so both of these bash to shit Session 5s are good to go. I just need to remember to charge them the night before. Where the hell did Tasty Shrimp Platter go? There he is. There he is. Okay, Tasty Shrimp Platter is officially a moderator. Anarchy and misbehaving, Lanky Bastard says. Yeah. Wow, I really made a hash of this. So here we go with the horrible task of cutting shrimp wrap off. Scientists do say that if you cut the shrimp's little legs off before you shrimp their exoskeletons, that it makes this job a lot simpler. But unfortunately, I did not do that. I was being very lazy, and I left their little tiny shrimp legs intact. So now I'm going to pay the price. Jesus Christ. I hope there's nobody new in the chat. I mean, if there was anybody new in the chat, they're certainly gone by now, because this is just gone to a whole new level of stupid. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Oh my god, I hate having to do this. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna chop a little bit of this off. I'm just gonna chop enough of this. Yeah. Just enough to get it into the thing, in the place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Lazy people unite. Lazy people untie. There we go. This... I am the king of laziness. Ooh! I can even do a little thing. I can even leave this kind of like pooped up and out. Oh, yeah. Ooh! Okay. I'm gonna... I just figured a thing out. I just figured something out here, boys. This is kind of nice. This is gonna actually prevent this from slipping a little bit. One of the things in like the worst possible case scenario that can happen with this little setup versus an SMA. So this is a direct UFL setup that I use. This saves you about 10 grams versus doing a UFL to SMA and then an SMA antenna. 10 grams is a lot, man. Like trying to find one thing on a quad that'll save you 10 grams is damn near impossible. So this is a really big deal. And I've also found that this setup is actually a lot more durable, believe it or not, than the SMA setup. The UFL to SMA cables are all kind of horrible, and they just fail. And when they fail, you can't tell that you can't see that they failed. So it's really annoying. So I really, really, really prefer this setup here, and it saves a bunch of weight. But in the absolute worst case scenario with this setup, the head of the UFL can get stuck in a branch and get pulled in this direction, and it can kind of like yank this stuff out of here. So what I did is I didn't cut all of this sheathing off here. I just split it up the side. So now what I can do is kind of wrap it down like this, and then I'll put I always put a zip tie around it. This is going to be pretty cool. And then that'll prevent it from... never mind. It's not going to really help. But it'll look kind of cool. No, it'll kind of look like ass. But, I don't know. I'll do it anyway. Yeah, because it pulls this... No, it'll totally help. Yeah. It'll help. Yep, it'll help. It'll absolutely help. Cool. Maybe I'm just saying that so that I don't feel like I wasted my time. But that's okay, you know? I'm gonna do me. Practicing self-care. Okay. So that's gonna sit on there like that. And I put a zip tie there to really cinch that down. And yeah, that's how that guy's going to kind of hang out in there. And this is, yeah, that should be good. Got a little bit of dangle and it's hang low. Nothing wrong with that. This guy is going to sit up in there. And get that ESC cable going. Might as well get that ESC cable routed right now. I like to route these things. I like to spin them so that the wires all stay together, and I like to route them on the side there for the shortest possible run. Keeps it out of the way. And then we're just going to put one more little turn in it and plug it in. This will kind of be interesting too. So this is a rig, this is a squid that I pulled out of the Prototype 5. So the tune that it's got on it is for the Prototype 5, which apparently handles vibrations a little bit better than the Glide. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if I need to back this tune off at all. I'm sure that I won't, but if I do, that'll be kind of interesting. I won't, but, you know, maybe I will. Definitely won't. Red bean? What the hell? What do you got? Clam bean? Bubby, have you been in the stream when I've played this before?
諦めんなよ諦めんなお前どうしてそこでやめるんだそこでもう少し頑張ってみろよダメ目諦めたら周りのことを思うよ応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろってあともうちょっとのところなんだから俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ絶対やってみろ必ず目標達成できるだからこそネバギバ
There it is. That one was for Bubby and for Tasty Shrimp Platter. Never give up, boys and girls. There are so many times in this hobby that you're going to want to give up, you're going to want to quit, you're going to want to sell all your shit. You can't do it because Clam Man says no. Clam Man says you're not allowed. He's right here. He's right here. You can get your own Clam Man sticker over on the Etsy store. You can get them on a mug or on a shirt over on Teespring. If you just need that reminder in life, to not give up. All of you depressives will know what I'm talking about. Alright, so we got the flight controller and the ESC plugged in. What happened there? Oh, that's right, this plastic nut is stripped out. I remember that. Oh, I'll put a third one on there later. So we got the... Oh, right. I gotta get this shrimped up to this. And I gotta get this little locking jib jab put back on here. Come on. Pulled the one side out and now it's being all angry. Stop being all dramatic, little locking UFL jerk. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Get over onto that. Can't you just be cool for 1 second, little piece of metal? There it goes. There it goes. I heard it snap. Maybe that was it breaking. Oh my God! Come on now. What is the deal with this? Why are you messing with me? Why you gotta mess with me? Too good for your home? Oh man, I think I fucked this thing up. Oh, I did. I bent it all to hell. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, get over there. Get over on the side there. Oh, is that it? Is that it? Is that what's going on? All right, I gotta look at this with the 5X loop. I can't see what the hell. What's the situation here? So that part got bent out. Yeah, so I gotta just. I'm gonna have to do this like a fucking scientist. Yeah. Yeah. Why is this? Ow! Oh, the fucking crossfire antenna just went in my mouth. There! Yeah. Oh man, it's spring steel. That's why. Okay, it's spring steel. I get it. That's why it's being such a jerk. Okay. So, if I just do that. Nope, I need a little more. I do that. Oh, that's getting better. This has got to be great television. Pirate Man is a pirate for 5 minutes. Is that better? Nope. Still being a little jerk. Still being a total dick. Okay. Well, let's just try to mash it on there and we'll see what happens. Get a little bit of shrimp wrap here. This is the special shrimp wrap. They harvest this from Asiatic shrimp only. The Asiatic shrimp, they have a harder shell. So this shrimp wrap here, it's got a harder shell. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm saying. Harder shell. Big Tater's shrimp wrap knows what I'm talking about. If you guys have any other questions about shrimp or shrimp wrap, you just let me know in the comments. Tag me, and I can give you some more shrimp knowledge. Part of my master's degree was a specialization in shrimp wrap. That's how I know all this. I spent a long time researching this back at university, back at Harvard Law. Oh shit! C Young 300 with a $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. He's bummed he missed the last 2 streams live. Got those 6S batteries. Thanks for all your help. Look forward to getting together again when my glide builds are done. Here's a little something for whatever the F you like, LOL. Thanks so much, C. Young, for supporting the madness. It makes a huge difference. You guys are amazing. Toxic FPV says for cocaine and strippers. Bubby FPV says, please drop a link to that video. Which, just search for Clam Man. Bubby, you'll find it. Remy Tim says, looks like you've got a whole Young Ripper squad in here tonight. Really? How many young people are in here? Type your ages. Usually it's all old bastards in here. When I ask people to type their ages, it's like 40, 30, 40, 30. Everybody type your age in the chat, and then you'll make me feel horrible. Athix says, build, fly, break, cry, build, burn, parts, cry, burn money, and fly. Hell yeah. Metal Dirtson says, are those farm raised and sustainably harvested? They're not. B-Man is apparently 103 years old. They're not. No, they're... Tasty Shrimp Platter says that decapod durability. C. Young says, I hate those connectors, junk. I actually like UFL a lot better than MMCX. When MMCX fails, you have to typically replace the entire VTX, which is just maddening and expensive. At least when UFL fails, it fails on the antenna side. And I've actually had UFL be a lot more durable when you shrimp wrap it like I'm doing versus MMCX, which you can't shrimp wrap. And quite frankly, anything that I can't shrimp wrap, I'm not interested in. Remy Tim says, all the people starting the Beans and YRZZ hype train in your chat were under 18. I saw you guys talking. Yeah, see, look at all these old bastards. There's nobody under the age of 29 in here. Did they all run? Did all the youngins run? They ran. Daniel, are you the youngest one in here right now? There we go. Kema's 17. What's YRZ? Man, I'm so fucking old. What's YRZ? Yours? You really zippy? Is that what it is? You're really zippy? Oh, Young Rippers. Wow, I'm stupid. Well, you know, if you can't be cool, you might as well be me. Okay, that's on there. Let's see how this little locking thing does. It does terrible. I was hoping that it would work once I got it on, once I got it clipped on. For the record, I fucked this up. I fucked this little locking thing up. I was trying to pry it up and out. Oh, for Christ's sakes, I forgot to put the shrimp wrap on first. Yeah, I need to get this little spring steel thing mashed back into shape. It ain't gonna... It's gonna really cause more problems. Now that I've looked at it with the 5X loop, I know what's going on though, which is nice. Ooh, there we go. I think that's it. I think I just got it. So shrimp wrap is gonna go on first, and then we're gonna put that on there, and then we're gonna profit. Kevin Summer says, did you decide not to get a new Mac, or did a joke happen on the stream I missed, and it's just stuck? So last I heard, well, I mean, first and foremost, me having a car is just kind of more... This gear fund has always sort of been the car or iMac fund. Once the OBS and Streamlabs are not totally stable yet, according to the online forums on the M1 computers, and quite frankly, a lot of people say that they run horrible on the M1 computers. And it's more important for me to have a car so that I can actually like get to these cinematic gigs and/or freestyle fly days. So I've decided to kind of prioritize getting a car over the M1 Mac while OBS and Streamlabs figure out how the hell to get it running properly on the M1 architecture or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what the situation is there. Okay, I actually like this little lock thing. I'm kind of digging it, and I'm just now realizing that this piece of shrimp wrap that I cut is it's from the adolescent shrimp that are not quite big enough. Although, as I say that, it went on. So okay, I guess there was a run of teenage shrimp. This particular piece of shrimp wrap came from, so it is big enough, and that's pretty cool. I am happy about that because I thought I was gonna have to just do that all over again, and I was gonna absolutely lose my mind and scream and yell and cry like a baby. But now I don't have to, and that's pretty cool. So if you're gonna use the torch on these durable shrimps, just be really gentle because the torch will absolutely overheat this. And since these are Asiatic shrimp, they're not as good as dealing with the temperature change, and you can their exoskeletons are not strong enough, and they can split. So just be really gentle if you're going to use the torch on these special Asiatic shrimp clams. They're actually shrimp clams. I don't know if you guys knew that. They were originally clams, and then they shed their shell like a butterfly, and they became shrimp. It happened in the year 700 BC. Actually, it happened a long time ago. Oh shit! I almost got a little too vigorous with it, but I think I got away with it. All right, there we go. So yeah, these shrimps are good because their little exoskeleton wrap here, it hardens, and then it really holds this UFL on very strong. Melderson says, "Is this going to be like that story in Cosmos with the crabs?" Yeah, pretty much. Athix says, "Has Mike Rollins hit you up recently?" You know, he hasn't. We were talking for a week or two after the interview, and then I got super busy. He got super busy, I'm sure, and we haven't actually talked since. Mentally, I've been in a really good place since that interview, which has been really, really nice. That interview happened towards the end of my ex and I's marriage, and there was, of course, a period right after that I was a disaster. But it didn't last that long, man. I got back on my feet pretty quickly, which I'm very lucky. I had already put a lot of things in place. Weekly talk therapy with a brilliant talk therapist. Daily meditation, daily yoga practice, other exercise, other sort of just general strength training exercise. A lot of reading of the right things, most notably a book called How to Do the Work by Dr. LaPera. And then I started dating, and that really helped a lot, actually. Finding out that there are women in the world that are interested in me really made me feel a lot better about being alone all day, every day. So yeah, this has been a great year. It's been a year with a lot of shit that I didn't expect and like never would have thought that I could handle like this, and a lot of sadness this year too, to be completely honest. But some real fucking triumph that I'm just rolling with it, man. And it's been really cool to kind of bring you guys along with me and kind of share in the recovery, so to speak. So yeah, thanks for coming along for the ride, boys and girls. I wouldn't have it any other way. It was everything that happened for a reason. The fucking universe hit me with a real shit show, but I am coming out of it in a really good place, having met some really, really amazing people that I'm really enjoying the company of lately. So, all's well that ends well, you know? Sometimes life kicks you in the nuts. It's your responsibility to kick it right back. Kick it right back in its own nuts. Or at least die trying. What? No. That's not what I wanted to say. Hold on. What's going on here? Let me just throw one screw in the bottom of this. I gotta get this. This immersion RC tramp like barely fits in here, so I gotta get it just kind of right, and that's gonna happen in just 1 second. All right, there we go. Okay, I just need this one. I'm just doing this to kind of locate this to give me the exact little positioning. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay, so this fell off. That's annoying. Come on, chunk of VHB. You were doing so good. There it is. Chunk of VHB is on. I'm going to put a little bit of heat in it. Just real quick, like. Okay. And then I'm going to locate this guy right here. And come on, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Trying to do this while it's still hot. There it is. Okay. That's the perfect spot. Boom, motherfuckers. And then I should have enough room for this standoff. Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. So that's beautifully sandwiched in there. Frank Nicholas says, is the VTX going to be in the way of the arm? Nope. This is like I'm not really doing anything all that different from any of my other glide builds. This is at this point, other than the 30x30 flight controller, this is going to be identical to all the other glides. So yeah, this will go together like all of those that you guys have seen me working on a million times. Cool. Okay, so that's in the right spot. Let's get this little guy back on top. Like this. Maybe I'll put a little twist in it. What do I usually do with this extra cable? I forget. So I run it under. Run this under like that. Or I could run it over. Where's that bind button? Yeah, the bind button is there. Do I have enough cable to... I'm actually going to start running these cables the length of the Crossfire Nano so I can point the bind button out. God forbid I ever need to rebind one of these things. It'll make it a lot easier. But it looks like I actually have just enough cable on this one to kind of do that. So, cool. I'll do that for the first time ever. Oh, no. You know what? Because I'm going to run I'm going to run a little strap around there. Well, I don't know. Nah, I'm not going to do it this time. I'll do it next time. I want to run this under and like that. That's fine. I'll deal with this extra cable later. For right now, I will just force that down and over. And I'm just going to stick this like that. Yeah, that's where I like to have the Nano sit. There's a perfect little spot in the top of the tramp for it. And then I run a little wrap strap around the whole thing. And it's all happy and located and good to go. Holy shit, it's 12:40? Oh my god. Okay, we are gonna call it for the night on this one. Jeez, how the fuck did that happen? Why didn't you guys tell me? Well, look at all that we got done. So all we got to do Wednesday is the motors and the arms, and we'll be all set. Where's that piece of wrap strap, though? Let me get this wrap strap down. There it is. The 1 session 5 is still going, man. Still fucking going. Very impressive. So let's figure out how much wrap strap we need here. Alright. We want to go around. And so we need roughly that much. So we're going to cut it right here. Okay. Yoop. And yoop. And then on the bottom. Oh, no, we're good. Perfect. So I just want to wrap strap this down so that it pulls this VHB and leaves tension on this VHB like overnight and whatever, and then it'll be kind of like good to go forever. Or as close to it as I can get. Man, this Crossfire antenna. Hey, there's the other session 5 shit in the bed. I wonder if that's the battery running out or if it's the memory card filling up. That is the question. Jesus, it's late. I guess I didn't start working on this until kind of late, so it sort of makes sense, but I didn't think it was this late. Past my bedtime. No, it's not even close. I don't have a bedtime anymore. I am bedtimeless. I know what I want to do with this cable, but I can't. It just fucking refuses to cooperate right now. It just refuses. There we go. That's what I wanted. Wrap strap down and under. Pull it up and around. This cable's going to be doubled up. There we go. Needle nose through this part. And grab that, pull it through, and we're good to go. Perfect! That's exactly what I was hoping for. All right, so that is held down. This cable is doubled up. And there it goes. Yeah! That's the stuff right there. Beautiful little communication package, all neat and tidy. All nice and cheap gear. $30 VTX, $30 Crossfire Nano. Good to go. Probably throw another wrap strap around this capacitor next time. But for now, I'm going to sign off because I'm kind of hungry and sick of working on this quad, to be honest. Not really. I could probably finish this up. I might not even need to extend these front motor wires. Let me see something. Let me see something here. Oh, look, they're like 1 millimeter too short. God damn it, Larry. Oh, I have no tea left. CiottiFPV says you need to try Express LRS. I'm perfectly happy with Crossfire. I won't go 2.4. Oh, you died, little friend. I won't go 2.4. I'll stay on 900, and the difference in latency is not really enough to warrant the amount of work and money involved in switching over. So I'll probably stay off of Express LRS. Never say never, but yeah, I mean, I've got so many builds, it would just be such an undertaking to switch everything over. And Crossfire is just a known quantity that works really well. I also, the biggest thing that I don't like about Express LRS is that the companies making the hardware aren't good. Like, and like the failures that I have are the PCBs and the electronics themselves. So until a company that makes quality electronics starts making Express LRS stuff, I'm gonna stay as far the fuck away from it as possible. The only company that I've seen that's been making it is Happy Model, and I don't want I don't want anything made by Happy Model on anything bigger than a Tiny Whoop. So yeah, hope I have a feeling that eventually a better quality manufacturer will start. Yeah, Athix, perfectly put. Would you trust Happy Model with an $800 rig? I don't fucking trust Happy Model with an $80 rig. So yeah, it's if a company with any quality control starts manufacturing ELRS hardware, and the 900 megahertz stuff, I don't know. That's the first big step, so we'll see. But I typically stay off of the hype train with stuff, and I try to let everybody else figure out what works and what doesn't. And then once stuff is solid, I'll weigh it out and see if I switch. But Crossfire is great. It works really, really well. The gains in going from Crossfire to ELRS 900 are very, very small. And yeah, I don't have a lot of time to I'm very time is at a premium right now, and having to switch every single receiver over in every single rig would just, I mean, that would just drive me up the fucking wall. So I don't know, we'll see what happens, but probably not going to happen anytime soon. Athix says fun makes the time fly. Got work today? Got work today? What do you mean, Athix? What do you mean? This is my work. RC Ritter says, get some sleep. I'm still trying to organize parts. I don't go to sleep till like 3, 4, 5 a.m. B-Man says, what's late? It's all relative. Yeah, it's true. More late for like other human beings, not weirdos like me. Kevin Summer says, if Crossfire hardware could be flashed to ELRS, would it tempt you more? This is what I'm contemplating. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if Crossfire hardware could be flashed over, then it's that's best case scenario, right? I get less latency, and like there's no drawbacks really. So yeah, absolutely. Athix says, would you trust? Oh, and then we got that. Kema says it's an architecture thing that is designed by ELRS dudes. Beta is now in the running. I don't trust Beta FPV either at all. I might actually trust Beta FPV less than Happy Model. If I'm gonna put something in a death rig, right? 5-inch freestyle rigs, as far as I'm concerned, are death rigs. It's gonna be made by TBS, Immersion RC, Acon, Runcam, right? Like the solid manufacturers that make good shit. Not the companies that make stuff that catches on fire the first time you plug it in. Just sort of, yeah, that's just kind of a rule of mine. Athix says, I'm sure the code is good. Yeah, the code seems amazing. Kema says ELRS 2.4 is way better. I doubt it. I mean, as a wavelength, 2.4 is never really going to outperform 900. I mean, that's just science, physics, whatever. And I worry about 2.4 being close to routers that are everywhere. 900 megahertz is a wavelength that is much more separated from most things out in the wild, other than Google Sidewalk, I think it's called. But we'll see. June Logo says, what could be causing my RSSI reading 8 on my OSD? You'd asked that earlier, June Loco. I guess you weren't in here when I gave you the answer. I don't know. I am very dumb when it comes to RSSI and LQ. I actually have been meaning to do a little bit of research. I have no clue what would cause that to happen. But if you find out, let me know. Tommy says, just saying hi, entertaining live stream. Thank you, brother. Athix says, Atlanta sucks due to Wi-Fi. I haven't had any problems. And then Kevin Summer with the last comment of the night, he says, Amazon Sidewalk is on 900 megahertz. That's what you think of. Amazon Sidewalk, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, people. This has been a long stream, but a good stream. That's what she said. Tomi actually gets the last comment of the night. He says, I have Crossfire on better rigs, ELRS on everything else. June Loco says, no problem, thanks anyway. what's today, Monday? Wednesday, what time? 8 o'clock. Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we'll finish this build up, and we will talk some shit. I'll make some dick jokes, some fart jokes, some shrimp jokes. It'll be great. Edit's coming. Maybe I'll get an edit up tomorrow night. You guys want a little sneak peek? Give you guys a little sneak peek. Everybody that's not a car person will be very disappointed. I have more than this cooking, but this is what I was just kind of fucking around with today. This is from... What year is this from? This is from 2013. Give you guys all the audio. Oh wait, no, I gotta switch. I gotta switch. Oh, man. So on that last one, there was 500 more RPM. On I didn't finish typing it yet, but why is nothing working? There's nothing working. I didn't finish typing that yet, but it's gonna say raising the rev limit from 7100 to 7600. This is just a stupid little edit of when I got the car tuned on the previous engine. The engine that was in the car there is no more. It blew up on the move from Charleston to where I live now in Atlanta. Unfortunately, but whatever. Long story. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. FPV edit is coming. Maybe I can get a bunch of work done on it tomorrow, and maybe get that up on Wednesday during the day, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out, boys. Here comes some random flying from Stables with some epidemic sounds.
I get it. You're upset.
Under it. Oh, it's upset. Upset Quad is upset. Oh boy, the sounds of our people. Come on, epidemic sound. Give me a good one. Virtual Underworld. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's virtual. See you guys Wednesday. Be good. I love you.